I want to give you 10 reasons why you shouldn't use a financial advisor. And this may be weird coming from a financial planner, but this was a poll done by the Ontario Securities Commission, and it gave direct feedback on 10 reasons why a lot of you are not using a financial advisor, or maybe why you should drop your financial advisor and move on from them and have a different approach moving forward. So we'll cover all of that in this video. My name's Adam. Welcome to the channel. As a financial planner since 2008, I got in the business in 2006. In 2008, I obtained my CFP, my Certified Financial Planner designation. Since that time, there's been a lot of transition in the industry. What hasn't changed is that there's a lot of people in our industry that call themselves financial advisors. And that can be a plethora of things. So to start this video, I'll say this. If you're looking for an accountant, go find a CPA. If you're looking for a financial planner, look for a CFP. If you're looking for an investment manager, someone to look after your investments, look for a CFA or possibly a CIM. So these are like the top of the level designations in these fields. What's happened is the financial advisor tag has been attached to anyone and everyone. And that includes people that maybe have a weak training that are working at a financial institution. They don't have the knowledge or whereabouts on how to do much for you, other than maybe pick investments that someone above them in the food chain told them to sell you as a client. Now, before I jump into it, don't forget we do have a second channel that's geared to the wealth accumulation phase, that 20 to 45-year-old range-ish. You have a mortgage and kids maybe, and you have, you're building up jobs and assets and all that kind of stuff. This channel is more kind of 45 plus pre-retirees gearing up for retirement, how to strategize, and a lot of it's on the drawdown. And so this video today is really for both sides of it. It's anyone from 18 to 85 where you have an advisor or you are thinking about getting an advisor. So reason number one, with 44% saying, I enjoy managing my own investments. And I think this is kind of a transition that's happened, maybe a bit pre-COVID, but definitely through 2020, there was a big transition to people moving to more DIY investing. And I think this is for a plethora of reasons. A, people are tired of paying high fees and not getting much for it. But B, even more so, there's a lot more platforms available to us, whether it's Questrade, a Wealthsimple, or your bank. A lot of the banks have an online platform. So it's easy to transition from, your mutual funds that you had at the bank to their DIY platform and start doing it yourself. They made it easy to create that transition because a lot of the times you're still buying, let's say, the major bank ETF or fund or whatever, you're just cutting out the advisor. So the bank saw this transition, the big financial institution saw this transition, and it was a way to, okay, we're going to lose the client on the advisory side, but we'll keep them on the product side. And a lot of people that I talk to say, look, Adam, I want the majority of my money managed professionally, but I kind of have that itch to scratch. And I personally am like that. I have that little bucket of money that if I lose it, it's not going to blow up my retirement plan, but I like to kind of pick my own stocks with that small amount of money. I have that itch myself. And I understand that a lot of you probably have that as well. So that can be a good fit too. The stuff that you can't risk on, have that professionally managed. And then, anything that you can afford to lose, then that's where you can kind of scratch that itch. The second one at 34% was, it's too expensive. And I can't blame you. I come across accounts all the time that are paying 2.5%, 3.5% in fees. And when I ask the client, what are you getting for that 3% in fees? They say nothing. Like literally their advisor doesn't contact them, or it's very minimal contact. There's no tax and estate and retirement planning. Basically the advisor has put them into a product and just let them sit there. And even when the client reaches out to the advisor, there's little to no response. And that's obviously an issue. So a lot of you have come across that path. And I would say if that was me, I would say, yeah, it's too expensive. It makes no sense. I'll try and do it on my own, or I'll find an alternative solution. The third one at 26% got me. It says, I am knowledgeable, meaning that, I can do it on my own. And I think this is a dangerous territory. A lot of you that I talk to, you have good knowledge, good enough to manage some of your portfolio. But I think a lot of you get in trouble. We've come across many clients that probably fell into this 26% and have since changed their mind. I think a lot of people that do their own investing, personal opinion here, you have enough knowledge to get you in trouble. A very small amount of you have enough knowledge to do well long term. And I think a lot of you, it's figuring that out, and you need to kind of go through that process. I just encourage you to make sure that you have kind of boundaries. So look, I'm going to give this a go on my own, but here's the boundaries so I know if it's not working. Again, I encourage everyone to, if you have that itch, scratch it, but have those boundaries. I have them on myself. You need to have them on yourself. At number 4, 24%, it's I don't have enough money to have an advisor look after me. That's probably partly true, and I think the industry is definitely trending in that direction where, a lot of the asset minimums, even the investment firms that we refer to, have a $500,000 asset minimum. So where do everyone else go? Well, a lot of these platforms, Wealthsimple, Questrade, these kind of things that have, a managed portfolio. So if you don't want to pick your own stocks, you can have kind of a managed portfolio on their platform. There's not a whole lot of support, but I think a lot of people fall into this category. But there are fee-for-service advisors that focus on every different age group. We focus on kind of the pre-retireds and retirees, but I know other advisors that do hourly or fee-for-service consulting on the younger generation. So if you're that person, if you feel like I don't have enough, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be talking to a financial planner and getting some plan done for you so that you know that you're moving in the right direction. 22% say you can do better and get a better return doing it on your own. And this may be true, throwing darts at the wall. I mean, at the end of the day, if you had an advisor that was just selling you a product, you're going to base the service level of that advisor on the performance of your investments, not around performance of investments, tax planning, estate planning, retirement planning, just overall structure, someone to lean onto. If they're not providing all that, the only comparison and kind of the value that you place on that relationship is the rate of return. And I think this is a lot of you watching this. Your advisor equals the rate of return they're providing to you. And that's it. That's kind of where the line is drawn. For a lot of you, if your advisor picked some bad funds, I just had a client or a prospect send me statements here today, and I looked at them and I thought, your 5-year return is awful. Your advisor has done very bad performance for you. They've done bad mutual fund picking. You could probably do it better yourself. At the end of the day, I think a lot of you maybe could do better than your advisor, but that doesn't mean you need to cut out kind of a planner and proper investment manager altogether. Coming in at number 6, and I honestly thought this would be number 1, is I don't trust financial advisors. And I don't blame you. I think our industry has done a very poor job on being salesy, selling you products, not having a fiduciary duty to you and putting you, the client, first. And there's a lot of great advisors, a lot of great planners, a lot of great investment managers out there. Our industry is filled with great people. Now, some of these great people work at really bad institutions and they're forced to, again, sell product or whatever it is to you. If you do your due diligence, you interview a few planners, investment managers, whatever you're looking for, wherever that gap needs to be filled, interview a few. There's a lot. And thousands of great, smart, hardworking fiduciary advisors in our industry that can help you out. So don't give up hope. And our industry, I'll say this, our industry as a whole is working really hard to weed out the bad, keep the good, have more regulation around what letters you can use, what names you can use. Again, financial advisor versus planner versus wealth advisor, all these kind of terms and tags. Our industry is working hard to make sure you, the general consumer, understands who you're dealing with and what credentials that they have. So it's not perfect, not even close to perfect yet, but we're moving in that direction. And there's a lot of advisors and planners that are pushing hard for that to come to fruition. For the sake of time, I'll run through the last 4 kind of all together here. So at 15%, they're worried that they would lose my money. So again, no trust in that advisor. And that probably relates to another one where, number 9 is 11% is a bad experience. If you've had a bad experience, you don't trust they're going to make money, you've lost faith in them altogether, those kind of all tie together. I don't value their advice. Again, a lot of financial advisors out there, they don't have training to give you advice. So if you don't trust their advice, I don't blame you. That's where you need to work with like a CIM or a CFA on the investment side. They're trained, they've gone through school, they have a lot of knowledge around that. A CFP has a lot of knowledge around planning and tax planning and structure. You need to be talking to the right person, and maybe why you don't value their advice is you're talking to the wrong person in the first place. And the last one at 6% is I don't know where to find an advisor. And the easiest place to find an advisor would be to walk into your bank. Not that that's the best place to go, but that's the easiest place to go. Or again, search. There's FP Canada is where CFPs like myself, certified financial planners, are kind of registered. So there's resources out there if you search the web to find a good qualified planner, investment manager, whatever you're looking for to kind of fill that gap. I think a lot of you have jumped shipped away from an advisor, but you need to look at, okay, well, was I just dealing with the wrong person, or am I actually better off on my own? And there's a lot of you that are just better off on your own. Again, I always encourage you, loop back with a financial planner because you still need that planning done. If you enjoy the investment piece, great. But you're missing out on a lot of tax, estate, structure, all of that is involved with the planning piece.